Yeah. See, like we talked about, education is vital, and I would say, unfortunately, young people do not read. Okay, even in this country, the rate of the level of reading has declined. Okay, they would rather watch a video, and in the last few years, they would rather watch a short. Okay, even myself, on your channel, I've watched maybe more than 20 shots, but I've only watched maybe 2 full videos. Now, I still watch full. In fact, I watched 3-hour podcasts. Okay, I do. And that's because I love reading. I love reading. Okay, so I can watch a full length video, documentaries, and all that. But my point is this: videos are now the best way to communicate information to young people. Okay, and I would like to encourage you to do more, because that's the best way for you to reach them. Okay, that's best way for us to reach them. I'm just asking myself how we can convince Africans to watch videos where people talk about important things. Because what I've seen is that the main African channels that have a lot of subscribers, comedy, TV shows. In fact, TV shows about comedy, music, okay, or shows that talk about a lot of angry people. Okay, we don't like to listen or watch people talking about important things. I don't know why. Well, I know why. See, we don't like to talk about anything important. And again, that goes back to what the first thing we'll talk about. See, if we don't start talking about things like this, if we don't like, if people in our communities don't like philosophy. You see, philosophy is a subject that, to understand the depth of what is being discussed, you need to calm down. If it's a book, you need to read it, maybe read a chapter over and over and over. If it's a discussion, you need to listen to it and think about it over and over and over again. We don't do this. And see, now, I don't believe that people from other regions hate Africans or Blacks so much that they sit down to plan ways to destroy us. No. See, people sit down, strategize how to be better than the next group. That has always been the way human beings behave. Okay. but we are making it easier for them by not doing our own thing. See, there's so much very useful knowledge about the world, about society available. And it has been available for 100 years. Yet, very few Africans has ever heard about it. So, how do you think we can entice young people to start?
Well, I think this goes back to what I was saying earlier about Africa being in a state where we need to take power back for ourselves. Because we've talked about education, and I think everything just keeps coming back to education because it is that important.
Yeah.
But even down to the sorts of, and this isn't an exclusively African
phenomenon. No, it's not. It's not.
The content that young people consume, for the most part, as you know, it's not really the deep things. It's more surface level things, and this is a generalization, but it still holds. Stuff like comedy, as you mentioned.
I love comedy. Okay,
and, there's nothing wrong with these things. I just think it's the amount that young people consume, and in comparison to like more
the other important things. Yes,
exactly. I think that's where the problem is. There isn't a balance, a healthy balance. I know also a lot of young people are getting into entrepreneurship because it seems like that is one thing that is really taking off these days.
Okay.
And I think a bit less than the others, but like self-development is also coming up, which I like, because it's important to really pay attention to understand yourself and to want to always be a better version of yourself. So looking at, in those categories that I listed, if you take, let's say, entrepreneurship or any other constructive, fields that can really build a person up, self-development, all those things, that is also a way of taking power back as a continent. If you have Africans that are, diversifying their interests, not just sticking to pranks and comedy and, but also moving into other areas, learning more about themselves, that is taking power back, because you're building the character development is something that we probably haven't done enough of, and which has contributed to keeping us where we are.
Yeah.
Wide scale. So by moving into these different areas, we're sort of building ourselves back up. And you will find, I think it will be easier to educate people. And education is not just about pushing one narrative and having them agree, but it's about the ability to disagree and argue why you disagree, be able to have an opinion about what you believe. And if you are wrong and you've been proven wrong, having grace to be able to accept that and also be willing to learn more. And I think that's really how you take power back for yourself, given all that we've been in.
Yeah. Wow. I like your ideas. I hope young listeners and watchers of this episode would like them too. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is, I don't know. I think I have heard this perspective that a lot of like young people don't read and all. And sometimes, I wonder sometimes where that comes from, because because sometimes you would meet there are a lot of people that read.
Yes.
I think it's just what they're reading. Maybe that's the issue. Because I think sometimes maybe the problem that adults, let's say, have is that maybe they're not reading, let's say, history
books. The kind of things I want them to read. Okay.
Exactly. But they are reading. It's just that they're not reading what you would prefer that they read, or what you would rather read.
Okay.
At the same time, it is true that a lot more people decide to consume video content instead of books and so, but that doesn't, I mean, Amazon, for example, has this thing, this I think, is it Audible?
Yeah.
There's this app that you can use to read books.
Yeah,
but instead
I do. I have nearly 200 books in there.
Exactly. So there are those resources now for people, because even like me, I don't like reading, to be honest with you. I don't like reading, but I recognize the importance of reading, but it doesn't, there are very few books that interest me to the point where I'm excited to pick it up. The rest of it is like a chore. I don't like reading. I'm much more of a visual learner, which is why I went into videos myself. But having said that, resources like Audible and all these apps where the book can be read to you.
Yeah.
With the amount of things, the world is busier now. You know, people are constantly on the go. You're on the bus or on the train to work. You can be listening to these books.
Yeah.
There. And I find that a lot of young people actually, that's how they consume their books. They're not buying hard copy books anymore to read, or they have it on their phone. So sometimes, even if you see somebody on your phone, it's like, why are you always on your phone? They could be reading.
Yeah.
They could be reading.
Okay.
Same thing with Kindle.
That's good.
That's
good.
Resources. I think it's just, you know, it depends, obviously, but I think a lot of people are reading. I think it's just not, maybe the majority of the ones we see don't seem to be doing that, but a lot of people are as well. I would say.
Okay, that may be true. That may be true. As long as they consume knowledge and they are willing to debate their position. I'm okay with that. All right.